All right. So I'm sitting here with Kim Duke, right? Kim, what do you do?
What do I do? I am an entrepreneur, Robert.
Okay. You wanna? So you want to talk about your businesses? Your business?
I own Duke's Consulting. Duke's Consulting is basically a corporation with a couple different businesses. We run a tree service and a snow removal service. And the latest business venture is an oil shop. So my passions lie within health and fitness and the community and education. But the tree service has been something that we have done for 10 years now. So that's our bread and butter. There's plenty of trees to go around.
Especially in Helena. Well, Montana.
Well, yeah, depending upon if the wind blows or the snow's too heavy like it is today.
Yeah. Was that a joke?
No, seriously, when the snow is heavy, it puts weight on the trees, and then
Oh, I thought you were okay.
weak,
No, okay. I was thinking about your snow removal business. I'm like, it's barely snowing outside. Like what?
Yeah, it's been a rough year. We're just now starting to get snow, and typically it stops snowing. I mean, it'll snow into the spring, but not enough that is going to need snow plowing or snow shoveling much past March. Typically, we've been doing snow removal now for about 10 years, and that's kind of one of my favorites because I remember when I was little driving around plowing out the neighbors' driveways with my dad and his Scout. And going, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. I want to do this for a living. And I must have been about 12. So I've always seen the potential in a snow removal business and a need for it. Mm-hmm. And now that I've had one for 10 years, it's just mostly my main priority is always keeping my current customers happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of new people that don't have those services. Mm-hmm. As people get older, things happen that people don't prepare necessarily for the snow, and then it starts falling, and you're like, oh, we got to call somebody to get this handled.
Right.
And but I have clients that I've been with me for about 10 years, so my main goal is to take care of my current clients and do my best to take care of new clients. In my opinion, there is not a lot of good, dependable snow removal companies. There are a few of us, but it's a lot of hard work. Snow removal is not easy, and the hours are very demanding.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So like, growing up, I did door to door, like shoveling people's snow, like rake leaves, whatever I could, because I always want to make money and like help people out. Yeah, owning my own business has always been a dream. Like, I didn't know that was it when I was a kid, but growing up, I can see my behaviors. And so my cousin owns Dawn Till Dusk, and I was like, yeah, I'll go shovel snow, but no, not at 3 a.m.
It's tough.
Like, no, like, I did it, I think, probably for like a week, and I'm like, I'm done. And then I go work at 10 hours a day after snowing or shoveling for 3 hours or whatever before work and going into a fiberglass shop. Like, I don't know if it was just the shoveling snow and then going into a fiberglass shop, but I was like, I'm tapped out. So for you guys going out there every morning and making sure my driveway is clean, like, thank you.
You're welcome.
People like you make it real easy.
We have an awesome crew. My crew now, after doing this for a lot of years, is one of my favorite crews I've ever had. They're really dependable. They love their job. They're always willing to go the extra mile, and I think that in customer service that's important because that's our job, is to take care of people regardless of what it is that we do. Safety is a huge part of our business. But I like what you said about your entrepreneurial aspirations in there. I didn't realize that you have always had such self-employment dreams. I've been self-employed for quite a few years now, and it's always nice to hear that.
Yeah. 2016, I think it was, I started a mobile detailing business. And it went really well until the moral aspect of it, I couldn't handle with shady car salesmen, used car salesmen anymore. I was going and picking up a lot of cars and selling them, making extra money when like it was slow, and like detailing a car and then throwing it on my business website and everything, like, and knowing that car is going to break down, or seeing the condition that I was in before I detailed it, like I quit doing it and I just went to residential. And after that, shortly after that, I signed a business. I got a loan to get a van and, some more equipment. And like right after that, it went under, because I decided I'm not going to do business with these type of people anymore. And like, I'm glad, like, money is money. I can always pay, I can pay that loan off and start back over. But like, knowing that I'm not going to put you in a bad car, or I'm not going to, I just felt bad about it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. There's been times I've considered going into more mobile home sales, because the concept is that you can sell something repeatedly over and over again, just like in used cars. Mm-hmm. But the work that goes behind maintaining something that has such wear and tear on it becomes very daunting. So I relate that to the car business, because first of all, I started in the car business. I started in the banking business, but after I had my first son, he's 16 now, I went and worked at Grimes Motors.
Okay.
If you remember Grimes.
Yeah.
And then, do you remember One Way Marine down by Kmart, or the old Kmart now? One Way Marine used to be across from Lithia back in the day.
Okay.
And it was a boat.
Yeah.
I believe it was One Way Marine. So what we did was we turned that into a used car lot, and that is what is now Mile High.
Gotcha.
But it used to be for a little while Grimes Used Lot.
Gotcha.
Before they, changed their name. I think they got bought out by Lithia. But so I started in the car business, and that's when I saw the potential in working for yourself. And I'll never go back to working for someone else. There's just that time freedom. I mean, that sounds silly coming from someone like me, because I'm so busy all the time. But if I want, I don't have to worry about if I'm sick and not coming to work.
Right.
I don't have to worry about if something happens and I have to catch a flight across the country to go, be with a family member or something that's going through something, or, anything. I can, and I do have that power to create my own rules, so to speak, or it's just time flexibility, I guess, in my mind. I've got 3 kids, and nobody's sitting here telling me I can't have them at my office, because it's my office.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or on my jobs or anything like that. The kids have always been a part of our life, and we've been able to, manage life, so to speak, because I believe of our entrepreneurial ways.
Yeah, it's not about the money, it's about the time.
Well, time is so important, and my biggest goals this year for 2019 are focusing that time and prioritizing that time in the right areas, because I know and I've learned that when you prioritize your time, everything works better. Like, if you put your priorities in line, then the one thing helps the other thing to work better. But if you get your priorities screwed up, that is not so.
Yeah, I think me and you both can relate on that.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother podcast, I think, though.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. So what in your what you're just talking about, like, so do you have like morning habits that you do to get ready?
Well, like I said, I have 3 kids. So we get up about 6:30 and get everybody to the bus a little after 7, breakfast, teeth brush, the usual. These days, I like to come in and just have a little bit of peace before the day starts.
Yes.
And get my mind kind of right, because usually I make a habit of the night before to check my calendar, make any mental notes. Not immediately before I go to sleep, but kind of right in that time frame. So I prepare for the next day a little bit, and I'm ready. So I make sure I make some contacts, people I'm meeting earlier in the morning, and talk about or confirm, what we got going on. And then my day kind of begins, right at 8 a.m. This morning's a little earlier than that. I do like to schedule some 7s every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to do what you got to do just to get the job done.
Right? Yeah. And 7 a.m. worked perfect. So.
It tends to be a little quieter before 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoy it. So, what if you had like 3 pieces of advice? Like, what would it be?
3 pieces of advice generally?
For business.
For business-wise, yes.
For like somebody who's just about to start running and gunning.
Don't give up. Don't give up. And give it, 500%. Just give it all you got. And if you work hard today, you may not be able to immediately see the fruits of your labor, but it will pay off. It may be 6 months down the line. It may be next month. It may be a year from now. But don't give up on that. And set some goals. There are so many people out there that don't set goals, and they don't understand the idea behind goal setting. Your mind is so powerful. I mean, it really is. And if you tell yourself and you want something and you want it bad enough, you'll get it. So just don't stop.
Just don't stop.
Don't keep swimming, like Dory says. Keep swimming.
Just
keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
I love that. Oh, I might go buy a fish now. Well, a sticker of Dory.
Definitely. She's one of my favorites.
That's awesome. My memory is just like hers. Yeah. Wait, that's the Dory off Finding Nemo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just my memory's
It's an old movie, but if you haven't seen it, definitely it's a good one. I used to have to watch that one on repeat with my now 16-year-old. It was one of his favorites. Way back in the day, it was a repeater one.
Oh, that's all right.
Oh, it's all right. I just memorized a few of the lines.
Yeah. No.
But I'm sure I'm not, special in that area. I'm sure there's a lot of other moms that got some good Dory stuff or some good Nemo stuff.
So do you have like favorite authors that you read? Any like business books?
I do. I started years ago with some Grant Cardone stuff. And now I really like Mel Robbins lately.
Yeah.
She's really, really good. Her 5-second rule, I'm telling you, that is like the guideline. Like, just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. Go with it and follow your dreams, because you let all those things, your brain, you will convince yourself otherwise. You are your own worst enemy. You hold yourself back. It's all in your head. It's your thoughts in your head, and if you believe you can do it, you will, and you can. Where there's a will, there's a way, I always say. Sometimes I struggle with just letting things be and getting out of the way a little bit, and watching things play out, because those are some of the best experiences, and some of the coolest doors open that way, even in business. But let me think of another author I love. Rachel Hollis is really good. I know you're probably not into Rachel Hollis. She is more geared towards women.
Okay.
But she has this book called Girl Wash Your Face, and that one has been pretty life-changing. But Mel Robbins also has another new one. I can't recall the title right now off the top of my head, but it's an interview type book. Okay. Where each chapter is with a different person. And honestly, it reminds me a lot of Laura Lessinger. You remember her, Dr. Laura? Mm-mm. She was on a few years ago on the radio a lot. Okay. And a lot of people probably would remember her. But she was just ruthless. I mean, people would call in because they had a serious issue in their life. And she would straight up just tell them what to do, what was up. She wasn't afraid to be like, well, sounds like you got to do this, this, this. Maybe you should do this, 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 and not have done that thing. You know what I mean? Like, she was just ruthless to people on the phone. And people eat that stuff up. And Mel Robbins is kind of the same way. She's got a pretty foul mouth. So for those of you listening that don't appreciate the F word too much, I would not recommend listening to it. But
she speaks the truth.
Well, she's just very brutal and very direct. And I, too, am a very direct person. Beating around the bush isn't going to get you anywhere. Just come right out with it. Today, we were talking about our time and how valuable time is. And I don't got time to read your mind, so just come right out with it. You know what I mean? And those are the kind of people I generally go towards in my life, because I thrive on that. I thrive on when people point out where areas where I can improve on, because I know that's where it's at. You know, fall down 7,000 times or whatever and just get back up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, a little long-winded.
No. I was taking in everything you were saying. I like it.
Who's your favorite authors these days?
Man. Tim Ferriss. The 4-Hour Body, the 4-Hour Work Week. Daniel Pink. He is one of my favorites. I read one of his books. I believe it's called The Cell is Human. And that helped me a lot, like in interviewing process for jobs or just like selling stuff, and just interactions all the way around, because I'm like the least social person I've ever met. Like, it's hard for me to talk to people. So like going out and being, you know, introverted instead of extrovert, or extroverted instead of introverted, it's a struggle for me. So Tim Ferriss, Robert Kiyosaki, he is one of mine.
Have you ever read any old books, like Andrew Carnegie, for example?
No.
He wrote this book, I want to say in the 30s or the 40s. It's so old. But it's an amazing book if you ever get a chance to read it. It's Winning Friends and Influencing People, I believe is the name of the book.
Really?
But he's just got some really good gems in there. And sometimes when you get looking, some of that older stuff, I mean, they've got some really good perspectives on things. And new books are great, and there's a lot of really good authors out there. But sometimes the facts and the research, I mean, this particular book I'm talking about, there's parts in it where he mentions him and his team read like tons of autobiographies just on, I believe it was Theodore Roosevelt, you know, or they studied the presidents, you know, and they take all of these different autobiographies they read, which was a lot from my understanding, and they create the book out of it. They analyze the different aspects of all these different autobiographies of these powerful leaders, and then they create their book around it, and they say the best ways to conversate and communicate with people for effective results. It's an amazing book, and I would definitely recommend you get it. I use Audible, but whatever.
Hey, which I love Audible and like podcasts, and I can drive, it's there. And when I'm on the treadmill, it's there. When I'm weight training, it's hard for me to get a pump on when somebody's monotone voice, but
some of them can be kind of hard and a little dreary. Depends on if you're tired or not. But this one I'm talking about, it was one of the first ones really years ago that I started listening to, and gosh, it's just gives you a whole new perspective. And I don't know if you've ever really analyzed different personality types and stuff like that. That's a whole nother podcast again in itself.
yeah.
But I've done a lot of analyzing from the beginnings of my entrepreneurial stuff, I guess you would say.
Yes.
Years ago in the car business, you know, I was taught a lot of information about different personalities, you know, and communicating, you know, and that is really a solid basis for any kind of business, especially in the corporate world, you know, in the world in general, but that's where it's at. When you can learn to effectively communicate with people and definitely pick up on what their needs are, and ways to help them. I mean, it could be anything, but listening is a huge key in allowing people the minute or the comfortability to tell you what it is that they need, you know, and if you can help, right, you know, if that is your area of expertise.
Right. You don't want to sell a family Corvette when they really need a Suburban.
Correct. Yeah.
So, like, the dad might really like the Corvette, but the mom is going to be not so happy that dad comes home with the Corvette, probably.
Yeah.
So, can't put a car seat in one of those things.
Right. There's days I really, really miss the car business. I love the car business. It was a lot of hours, though. I never was home. You know, today my family would probably say, we feel like you're hardly home now. And that's something I work on every day. You know, whether it be personal or business, that's one thing I've always done. My mom always said, you know, you burn the candle at both ends until you drop. And that's kind of just the way I go. I go hard or stay on the porch. You know, either run with the big dogs or just stay home. There's no in between. You know, finding that balance is definitely a tough one in 2019. You know, it's all in or all out.
Yeah. I get that. I can like obsess about everything except for the things I need to work on. Mm-hmm. So for me in 2019, I'm really trying to find that balance between like, okay, do I go to the gym for 4 hours a day? No, I probably don't need to. Maybe at the 2 hour mark, get out no matter what. Do I need to listen to 12,000 podcasts in a day? Not just like 3 hours of podcasts. No. Do I maybe read or maybe do this, maybe do that, and just have that balance and just really just pause and just like, okay, what do I need to focus on?
Mm-hmm. Sounds like priorities again.
Yes.
Definitely. It's those priorities, you know, once you arrange your priorities in a way that you're supposed to instead of backwards, then things work together a lot better. And that's what I'm finding is finding that flow. You know, you can still be an extremist such as myself and you can still find some balance, and you honestly can, but you gotta want it. You gotta want it. You gotta have that desire to want it and make it work. And where there's a will, there's a way. You'll do it. You know, you'll find the people to help you do it. You'll read the books that'll give you the inspiration to do it. You'll eliminate people out of your life that are holding you back. That's a big one. And that's hard for a lot of people to set up some boundaries. Definitely.
Yeah, man. Yes, 2018 was full of people holding me back.
Yeah, it's a toughie, and it's hard because you want people to come with you.
Right?
You do, and in order to do that, you got to show them. I mean, it's that action thing. So, how long usually do you do a typical podcast?
Sometimes an hour, sometimes 45 minutes. We're at 22 minutes now.
Ooh, awesome. Well, let's keep it rolling.
You want to keep it rolling?
It's up to you, however you want to do it. Just making sure. I don't want to make your life harder.
No. All right. Well, Kim, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. This is fun. I would do this anytime. And I actually have some ideas with some people who would love to do it as well.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, it's Wednesday morning. Not even 8 a.m. yet.
Let's rock it.
Cool.
Yeah, get her done.
Right on. All right. Thanks.